My manipulative mother has financial demands, so I did something petty.
Was it you took all of her petty cash?
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I, 35 female, have had a difficult relationship with my mom, 59 female, for several years, especially since I started therapy alone and began healing from some family trauma. By the way, this comes from OKQuit3422, and you can send in your story to r/o. So we've tried therapy together, and while it worked for a while, the positive effects didn't last long once we stopped. She reverted back to behaviors that contributed to the rift in the first place. She seems to want me to be the people pleaser I once was, the person who didn't share my feelings and sacrificed my time and happiness for everyone else. Thanks to therapy, I'm not that person anymore. All I have asked of her is for her to respect my boundaries, take no for an answer the first time, she's very pushy, and acknowledge or validate my feelings. She often ignores me when I open up to her, pretending like she didn't receive my messages, except I know I did. When your mom leaves you on red, she continues to act as though everything is fine when it isn't. She also constantly acts like she's the only victim in a situation and refuses to take any accountability for her actions. We've had many conversations about this over the years, but nothing ever changes. She has put me through a lot of emotional/psychological abuse, turning our other family members against me and acting like the victim. I am still hoping the good in her would show itself again, but I've begun to realize that it won't unless she feels like I'm basically complying with her demands. She has repeated the same patterns in the last few days, ignoring my feelings and repeatedly claiming she's open-minded and willing to continue and willing to welcome me with open arms, bragging about herself for doing things a parent should, providing food, shelter, attending school functions, etc., etc. You know, the usual.
She's like, I was such an overachiever. I fed my kid.
I gave you food. Remember slop? Didn't you love slop? Remember when I had that trench that you would just oink, 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 oink? She was so ridiculous that I stopped responding. Here is the kicker. She messaged me today wanting me off of her checking account and demanding that I meet her this week. I'm on the checking account. It was her idea a few years ago when we were on good terms, just in case of an emergency, and now she wants me off so she can open a line of credit under her name. Did I mention that she already has several credit cards and other debt she can't afford? She already asked me for money once this year after treating me like complete crap. I told her no. Not my circus, not my monkey, so maybe it is her checking account. I guess we'll see. She wants me off? Fine by me. She claimed that she wanted to also close it so that, quote unquote, I could be rid of her. She always has to be the victim, telling me how I'm trying to get rid of her when she blocked me on Facebook. Wow, that sucks. We only communicate via traditional text now. The last phone call with her was an exhausting 3.5 hours of my life that I will never get back. The bank said that her other option would be for her to close the account and get a new one with just her. I told her repeatedly that I'm working and that I'd get back to her about scheduling. Her demands continued. I told her one final time and she agreed. However, part of me doesn't want to meet her. Part of me wants to be a little petty and give her a taste of her own medicine if she messages me any more demands. So, would I be the a-hole? I'm willing to share screenshots if necessary to accept any judgment. So I think what OP's saying here is basically, my understanding of this right now is mom has this like emergency checking account that OP had access to. It's like, oh, if you run into money or whatever, you can have access to this. Which, in fairness, not everyone gets an emergency bank account from mama.
That is true. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're wasting your own energy. Your mom's not going to change.
Update. I have now talked with 2 representatives from the bank that the joint account is through. They told me that the only account where they can remove a joint owner via phone/online is a minor's account, and that all other account types that are joint have to be closed. And if she wants an account in just her name, she'll have to close that joint account and open a new one. Or one of us can go in person to remove me from the account, and they confirmed that we both don't have to be there. I can go up there by myself and take myself off the account, which I can probably do tomorrow on my lunch break. She's still arguing with me and freaking out. I'm as cool as a cucumber because she hates to be inconvenienced, and I'm giggling. Hee hee. Picture Phoebe's evil laugh from the show Friends. I don't know if
I don't know it either.
Did that right. So.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Update number 2. She threw an absolute tantrum that I'll supposedly be able to remove myself from her account without seeing her. Apparently, her goal was to try and use the bank account thing as an excuse to see me. I haven't seen her in 10 months before I refused to give in to her antics anymore. You would think she was putting on a one-woman play with how dramatic she was. She demanded to know which location I was going to and at what time.
John, we're going to get back to the story, but you're old.
You're as old as me now, pal.
I might be as old as you, but I feel like you have oodles more wisdom.
I've got some wisdom in this old noggin.
You got a piece of wisdom for me right now?
Always respect your
And I think the other piece of wisdom that I've learned from John is join OK Storytime memberships.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Get it now while I'm still alive.
And now back to the story.
When I told her I would just take care of it alone, she, yet again, played the victim card and accused me of trying to avoid seeing her. And then she told me that she spoke to 4 different bank reps for my benefit. Excuse moi? I reiterated that she did that for herself since it's her account.
You also are trying to avoid your mom, though.
This is true.
So, like, her being like, you're trying to avoid me, and you being like, shut up. It's like, well, she's right.
Yeah, maybe if anything, maybe you're like, hey, I understand that you want to meet, but I don't want to meet because of why. I reiterated that she did that to herself since it's her account. She continued. I told her I was done with this conversation for the night and stopped responding to her. She continued to respond like a petty teenager, and I ignored it. I'm used to her acting like a mean girl by now. When she gets angry, she acts very childishly like a teenager, petty, vindictive, immature, and overdramatic. I'm going to remove myself from her bank account tomorrow if I'm able to. Wish me luck. I do believe that the mom is probably a hot mess to deal with and like not good mom. But I think that OP is kind of quick to retaliate with the same. I have to have her with me physically in person to get my name off the account. There you go. I'm so frustrated that I'm crying because I just wanted to get this over with. She has been horrible to me over the last few days, and I'm mentally exhausted and frustrated. And we were told multiple things from multiple different bank reps. I guess I'll have to arrange to meet her at one of the bank locations. I'll update later. And we don't have to wait long because this is update number 4. I am now off her account like she wanted.
Okay.
The torture's done.
Everything's good now, right?
She messaged me last minute today and told me that she was going to be there about 15 minutes after the agreed upon time. Mind you, she had asked yesterday which location, and I had sent her both the address and the Google map. I told her that I would be there at our agreed upon time because I had a meeting later in the afternoon. She's almost always late, so I wish I could say that her lateness surprised me, but she isn't respectful of people's times. And if she didn't plan ahead, that's on her. Her irresponsibility does not equate to my responsibility. She kept awkwardly looking at me and around the bank the entire time. I stared fixedly at the counter because I didn't even want to look at her. I'm still so upset with her for her lack of accountability, respect, and many other things. When it was finished and we went to leave, she asked if she could give me a hug, and we exchanged a very awkward, barely there hug. And she told me to have a Merry Christmas.
Not seeing a lot of holly, nor am I seeing a lot of jolly. I'm seeing a lot of like, that's what I'm seeing a lot of.
She doesn't get my big bear hugs with how she's behaved towards me. Those are reserved for people that don't treat me like crap and for people that actually own up for their mistakes. And the fact that she tried to act like I wanted to be rid of her is ironic and ridiculous, considering she blocked me on Facebook at least twice this year. Wow, dang, Mom. I don't really know how to feel. I feel sad and numb at the same time, and Christmas is next week. I definitely won't be seeing her, and I don't feel like we can have a relationship at this point until she shows genuine remorse / genuine change for her toxic behaviors. My partner and I will be starting our own family soon, and we might get married sooner rather than later. I'm still not sure if I'll want my mom there or not. I'm grieving a living person. Not ideal, but it's the only way for now to stop the drama and abuse and mental stress from the situation. By the way, if you want to stop your mental stress at any time of any day for 10,000 hours straight, boy, do I have the solution for you. Full episodes of stories just like these. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Type in OK Storytime, 2,000 full episodes. 2,000 full episodes. Enjoy, indulge.
I think my mom's manipulating me, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I disagree.
Guys, I'm just kidding. My brain is my brain is like the goop at the bottom of a bottle of kombucha.
So the booch.
I didn't want it to come to this. No child that's estranged from their parents ever wants it to come to the point of cutting contact or reducing contact. We don't do it because we want to. We do it because we feel like we have to in order to protect ourselves. I didn't want it to come to this, but it's almost not okay to keep putting with but it's also not okay to keep putting up with the hurtful comments or snide remarks or her crossing major boundaries or not being respectful of my time and not taking no for an answer the first time, etc. I'm tired. Just tired. Hopefully this will be my last update, and lo and behold, it is.
You really hit him with the "I'm tired, boss."
It is.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
It's too damn bad.